Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mothers would practically build themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Welcome to the Kit Hoarder Stash, and today we are going to look at the USS Guam. So, Hobby Boss put out a couple of these really neat, I guess technically they're battle cruisers, American battle cruisers, the Alaska and the Guam. And, well, the Alaska wasn't available at the time I wanted to get one. The Guam was, so that's what I picked up. It had a little bit less illustrious career than the Alaska, and, well, they were pretty much obsolete. Beautiful ships, but they were pretty much obsolete as soon as they were launched. So we're going to crack this open, we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to talk a little bit about the USS Guam.
The Guam was the second and last built of the Alaska-class battle cruisers, of which there were supposed to be six built, but there were only two that were finished. The ship was a whopping 808 feet 6 inches long overall and had a beam of 91 feet 1 inch, a draft of 31 feet. She displaced 29,779 tons. She was powered by 4 General Electric geared steam turbine sets, each driving one propeller, and 8 oil-fired Babcock and Wilcox boilers rated at 1,500 shaft horsepower. She had a top speed of 33 knots, and it had a cruising range of 12,000 nautical miles. Wow. She carried 4 float planes housed in 2 hangars with a pair of aft catapults. The ship was armed with a main battery of 9 12-inch L-50 Mark 8 guns in 3 triple turrets, 2 in a super-firing pair forward and 1 aft. The secondary battery consisted of 12 5-inch L-38 dual-purpose guns in 6 twin turrets. 2 were placed on the centerline, super-firing over the main battery turrets, fore and aft, and the remaining 4 were placed on the corners of the superstructure. Launched in November of 43, but not commissioned until September of 1944, she had a very short operational life in the Pacific. She did participate in operations off of Okinawa from March till July of 1945, including providing anti-aircraft defense for the Carrier Task Force. She was decommissioned in February of 1947 and placed in reserve, where she remained until she was stricken in 1960 and sold for scrapping the following year. The Alaska class was officially classed as a large cruiser, but others have regarded them as battle cruisers. I kind of like the term cruiser killer. The idea for these cruisers originated in the early 30s when the U.S. Navy sought to counter the Deutschland-class pocket battleships that Germany had planned to build. The Alaska class was fast, lightly armored, and heavily armed. Attention on deck, the USS Guam is here and ready to be built. Now for a Hobby Boss kit, it's a little expensive, comes in at about $120. Here is the instructions, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little overwhelmed. So looking at the color callouts, of course, to me this is all garbage. I'll go by what it's supposed to actually have, not what their interpretation is. So here is your parts callouts, and immediately I see a base in there, which is great, a stand. I'm going to actually use that, probably for my Montana. Here is the rest of the parts callouts. 2-piece deck, that's helpful. This thing's long, I got to tell you. Wow, you get a lot of photo etch with this, and of course your flags and a couple of float planes, which is nice. So here we are, beginning assembly, and it's the 1-piece hull, lower hull, that's full hull. You don't get the waterline option. Putting on all the fittings. This is very Blue Ridge-esque. This builds just like a one of the Blue Ridge kits. And here we go, put on the screws. More of the deck fittings. aft deck fittings. There's a lot of fittings that go on this particular ship, and I'm probably going to build it pretty much straight from the box. We got some nice anchor chain, it looks like. That's always a plus on these, where you don't have to scrape off the old, you just put the nice new on there. Wow. So I'm going through these instructions. There's like 36 pages to these instructions, and I'm a little intimidated. It's rare that I get intimidated by a kit, but this one definitely has done that. I'm looking at all of these steps and all of these things that I need to put on here. And then, of course, there's quite a bit of photo etch in this kit. Now, I understand why it's so expensive. A lot of details and a lot of photo etch. I'll show you the photo etch here in a few minutes, but yeah, there's quite a bit of photo etch. Here's more of the photo etch around the funnel area. The upper works does have quite a bit of a photo etch. This one actually has the lower railings as well, which you'll see here in a minute. I was very impressed. Pretty much a full photo etch set, which, wow. Yeah, those are good 30, 40, sometimes even $50 to get separate. So I felt that this was a pretty good value, this particular kit. And this is not something you're going to build in a weekend or probably even a month. This is something that's going to take a while, because there's a lot to this. So what I like about that is it's very detailed. What I don't like about it is, well, here's another year of my life that's taken building one ship. Wow, yeah, but it's going to be really beautiful. It's a good looking boat. Okay, quad 40 on the front of the ship there. Look at this. Look at building the crane. Ugh, the cranes, I should say, and the catapults. Woo. Yeah, that's going to take me a little bit, just a little bit. Getting the main guns put together and put in. Oops, I guess this was the page previous, getting the guns together. Yeah, those 8-inch guns are actually pretty good sized. Or 8-inch guns, 12-inch guns are actually pretty good sized. And there is the perimeter railings. Okay, so opening up the box, and this thing's long. It was 808 feet in real life. That's a long flippin' ship, very skinny. So here's the photo etch. This is one side of the photo etch. But you flip it over. I haven't even opened it. You flip it over, and there's a whole nother fret on the other side. So 4 frets of photo etch to this thing. Yeah, there's a lot. Now, there's relatively little plastic compared to some of the other kits I've built, like the Louisiana. 1 fret of that. There's 6 frets of this one, though. This has got your main battery and a lot of your secondary battery, and like I said, there is 6 of these particular frets, just like this. So, wow. Okay, that takes up a lot of plastic there. And some of the superstructure area. Not a whole lot of superstructure in this thing. And some of the lower hull parts. The plastic is so well molded in this thing. It's absolutely beautiful. The deck looks gorgeous. Most of your holes are pre-drilled. Two-piece deck, and here is your funnel and some of the other pieces of the upper works. And finally, these last two sprues here. So that's all there is to it. All right, folks. Well, thanks for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoyed this.